Hi, hi, hi. How are you? Okay, let's start over again. I'm Reverend Judy-Ann Davis Young. I will, and shall remain Miss Bertha's baby girl. How are you? Yes, you are. There's some things that just are always good. Well, I just got back from Canada late last night. And if you've flown lately, how many of you know that they charge you for the luggage you take? Well, I started thinking about it. What does that really mean? And today's message, when I let go, I fly. I remember the time when people would travel and they would just have 2 and 3 pieces of luggage. But when they start charging you for the luggage, you start paring it down and taking only what you need. You start making some educated decisions. How can I have 2 pair of pants and 5 tops and create something new every week? Well, it's a metaphor for life. How can you soar and be all that God sent you to be if you're dragging stuff you don't need? Like shame, pain, guilt, regret, envy, resentment. I know no one here has any issues with that. Nobody. Well, I went to see what Ernest Holmes said, and in a small book that he wrote called Creative Ideas, Ernest Holmes says, it is only when we have completely forgiven others that we can get a clearance in our own minds, for we are judged by the judgments with which we judge. We are judged by the judgments by what we judge. If we criticize, condemn, and censor, these are the attitudes that occupy our thinking. And they will not only reflect themselves outwardly, they will also reflect themselves inwardly on ourselves. That's some of that stuff that you don't need to take with you. The judgment, the criticism, the condemnation, the censoring of other people's stuff. It doesn't belong to you. Travel light. He goes on to say, if we want a complete clearance of forgiveness, we must give a complete clearance to everyone and everything. I'm going to say that again. If we want a complete clearance of forgiveness, we must be willing to give that to everyone and everything. Whether we like it or not, this is one of the great truths of life. Not only should you be willing to forgive others, but we should equally, and this is critical, forgive ourselves and not carry the mistakes of the past into the future. Well, in the book of Isaiah from the Bible, it says, a highway will be there, yes, there, and people will call it the holy way. As for unclean people, they will not journey on it, but it will be for whomsoever is traveling on that way. Not even fools will get lost. Now, this highway that the Bible speaks of is a consciousness. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to be perfect. But if you put one foot in front of the other and you are willing to forgive others and leave all your own baggage and quit looking at other folks' baggage, you know what? Even fools won't get lost. It's kind of like a river meandering down the way. It looks like it's meandering, but actually it's the walls that guide the path. And when it runs up against something, it flows around it, and it keeps doing what it does. It keeps on its journey. How many of us get stuck on these things? I love Bishop T.D. Jakes. And he says this, and I love it. He said, forgiveness is a big idea. It's not for everybody. See, forgiveness is big. That's one of those big ideas. So when you find yourself wanting to wallow in the smallness of what they did to me, I was victimized, that's a small idea. Forgiveness is really big. And it's not about the other person. It's about taking only what you need in order to evolve. And if you take this pain with you, if you focus on it and dwell on it, you're only going to get more of it. Because the law of attraction says what? You attract what you think. You attract what you are. You attract what you vibrate with. So if you're willing to forgive, you're going to attract forgiveness. When you're willing to love what is, you're going to attract more love. But if you have an attitude, you're going to attract more attitude. He goes on, T.D. Jakes says, we do not embrace forgiveness as the key to our freedom. We become increasingly more weighted down with the burdens of the past. This, again, is checking in and you're overweight at the baggage counter. They say, okay, you can take the first 50 pounds. We'll charge you $20. After that, oh, there is a penalty in all of life for taking things that you don't need. And this is that big idea of stepping over it. And this is also about soaring with eagles versus pecking with chickens. You ever notice chickens? And I like chicken, don't get me wrong. But chickens don't fly. They peck down here on the ground. It's a low vibration, and they only get what's down here. But if you notice what eagles do, they soar high. Eagles even mate while in the air. They want to make sure they're not getting something they don't think they want. They mate up here. They soar up here. But you cannot have a chicken perspective on life and achieve the level of an eagle. It's incongruent. You have to let all that stuff go. I noticed when I was flying and I got to the airport and they said, well, it'll be $20 and you have one bag and it's under 50 pounds. Well, when I got where I was, someone gave me something. I had to make a decision. What am I willing to let go? And what am I willing to take back home? Because I was close to the 50 pounds. Now, this is the stuff that we decide every day. How many of us are dragging things we no longer have use for, but they're old bed pillows? Because here's something that's critical. We need to know this. Life has these twins. They're called pain and pleasure. Now, most of us are conditioned to think of pain as an enemy. Pain is not an enemy. Pain is an opportunity. Let me explain why I say that. If we did not have what we perceive as painful situations, many of us would not evolve. But when something becomes uncomfortable, that's the point when you start making change. Pain is a catalyst. It's the way of life. You either evolve or you dissolve. And pain is that thing that causes you to evolve. Forgiveness is that thing that goes with pain often, and it causes us to evolve. I know some of us have been married more than once. I'm sure all of us have had more than one relationship. If you had not had the pain of the former relationship, you wouldn't have the appreciation of where you are now. I know I'm just talking to myself because don't nobody hear me saying this. See, in that thing called forgiveness, it does not, and this is critical that we understand, forgiveness does not exonerate the one who hurt you, nor does it trivialize the depth of the pain or your trauma. It liberates you and your soul from living in the house of horrors, of memories and agonies that aren't worth any more of your time. When you have that pain, you stay with it, you embrace it, because it comes with a message. It's like the body, and this is really critical. When we have pain, the first thing we want to do is, oh, I need an aspirin. Oh, I need a Xanax. Oh, I need whatever, because we're in pain. That's the point where you go in and say, what's causing this? That's what happens with life. When you ask the question, what is causing me the pain? There's some truth in that pain. When you get into the truth of what's causing the pain, oftentimes you find out you don't need the medication. Now, you find people that are addicted to pain prescriptions. Here's what happened. They don't want to look at what's causing the pain. They want to keep medicating it. And so we become addicted to things that don't support us. But our addiction is because we don't want to look at the truth. What is the root cause of the pain? And a lot of times, it is that anger, that resentment, that regret that becomes a cancer to our systems. It's a cancer to the soul. If you are still angry with someone, forgive yourself so that you can move on. This is an intimate setting, and I feel comfortable in saying this. I always say I'm Miss Bertha's baby girl, but I don't think I've ever told you how painful that was. I don't think y'all know that it was because of the pain in that relationship that I evolved and grew to be who I am today. Because Miss Bertha wasn't nothing nice. She was hard on me. She was critical of me. She was totally destructive to my self-esteem. I was told that I wasn't going to amount to a whole lot of anything. And it took me years to get over that hurt feeling. And when I set her free, I could fly. I could go beyond all of what she said I couldn't do. But as long as I stayed in the victimhood of what Miss Bertha said, I couldn't fly. So every time I stand here and I say, I'm Miss Bertha's baby girl, that is a declaration that I have forgiven, blessed her, and stepped up out of that chicken coop so that I could fly with the eagles. Because what happened with me is, as long as I bought into, I know I'm the only one, my story of what they said I was and what they said I couldn't do, I stayed down here eating with the chickens. And because someone says something, it doesn't make it, one, true, and it doesn't define who you are. It just, they're sharing their opinion. And when they do that, 99% of the time, it has nothing to do with you. They are victims of victims, and they are living their pain out on you. And we don't see that. All we know is it hurts. And here's the thing about pain. Most of the things that have caused us the most pain occur from the time of conception to the time we're 18 years old. Now, I want each one of you to just softly close your eyes and go back to when you were 3 years old. When you go back to when you were 3 years old, your daddy looked like he was 8 feet tall, your uncle looked like he was 10 feet tall, and even granddaddy looked really tall. But when you come back at 18 or 19 years old and you look at these people, you realize, wow, my dad was only 5'9". But from the position of a 3-year-old, everything is exaggerated. And that's where we get most of those beliefs and most of those things that we're carrying from our childhood. And they are exaggerated because we are so small. And they are much bigger But the truth that's in all of that is where the beauty lies. What I can say is forgiveness is essential. If we are to grow into the fullness of God, what God created us to be, as we are made in the image and likeness of God, we share God's capacity to love, to experience betrayal from those we love, and to extend forgiveness and act lovingly again. We're made in the image and likeness of God. We don't get to have a bypass ticket on pain. We get to be betrayed. That's some of that growth. I can tell you from personal experience. It was through those most painful relationships that I grew to be who I am today. And most of us, what do we do when something painful happens? We run away. Well, it looks like it works. Well, I just won't get involved. Well, here's what happens when you run away. That painful stuff that's unresolved is back here. It's in your thinking. So what are you going to attract when you get where you're going? Whenever you decide to go back into a relationship, if you don't heal it where you are, you're going to attract it again, because like attracts like. It attracts it at the level that you think. It is always done unto us as we believe. It is upon me to get me some new believing. And so I chose, out of that painful experience, I chose to believe I was loving and worthy and capable. And when I chose to believe I was loving and worthy and capable, guess what I experienced? People who mirrored that. People who saw who I was. I ran into a high school friend. I was in D.C. a couple of years back. And we were talking, and she said, you know, I never knew you had a voice. And I was like, really? And she said, I don't ever remember what your voice sounded like. Now, I always did like to talk. But what I realized is part of, and this is something I had to work around, part of Miss Bertha's thing in my life was to be a pressure cooker, to keep me under a certain amount of pressure, because it was under that pressure that I learned to go within. See, when you all out here, you can't do this internal work. But it was in that pressure cooker that I began to look at who I am. I began to get in relationship, not at what they said, but what I knew internally. Because my mother said, oh, you have no style. Your sister, she really knows how to dress, and blah, 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 blah. And I wanted to believe that because I wanted her approval. And then I grew up thinking I didn't have any talent. And someone would say, oh, well, congratulations, you did such and such. I said, oh, I was just lucky. That's what they told me. I was lucky. And I realized something, and a friend said, Judy-Ann, you do something repeatedly year after year, and you've gotten this award, and you've done this. Why do you keep saying that? And I had never questioned the belief. Now, some of us teach you a new definition of a belief is a thought that you no longer question. How many of us have thoughts, beliefs, that we no longer question? We just accept it as true. They said it, I learned it, they gave it to me, therefore it must be true. You need to go. You need to get ready to fly to the next level. You better look in your suitcase. Make sure you're taking only what is essential. Don't take beliefs that no longer serve you. Don't pack that stuff and say, well, you know, I remember when I used to really look good in this. You don't look good in the same clothes you wore when you were 10. Stop packing that stuff around. I mean, I'm serious. We have beliefs. Here's a good one. A lot of us have conversation around money. Money is the root of all evil. Blah, 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 blah. So we grow up thinking we don't deserve it. This is what they have found about all these people that win the megabucks. Most of them, after 2 or 3 years, they have given it away, allowed people to dupe them out of it. They've done everything they could to get rid of it because it was not about having enough money. It's always about your consciousness. So here you are in life at this place where you are starting to feel uncomfortable. You know you need to do something. This is what I can tell you. Emotions are just energy in motion. That's all emotions are. Pain generates negative emotions. Every negative emotion has a positive intention. When you find that intention, it supports your growth. So dialogue with your negative emotions until they reveal their positive intentions. In the book of Isaiah 35, 35th chapter in the 8th verse, it says, 55th chapter in the 9th verse, it says, for as heavens are highways, that heaven are highways than earth, that heaven is higher than earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts higher than your thoughts. And what God meant by this is heaven is higher than earth. God's ways are higher than our ways because God has always got a greater eagle-like vision for you than you could possibly have for yourself. We could all think of situations where we have stood and said, wow, I never thought it would turn out that way. I never thought I would be standing here. But God's vision for me was a lot bigger than my vision for myself. And it was through that, those twins of pain and pleasure, that I learned to unfold my vision. And in order to soar with these eagles, I had to look up. There is a thing in motorcycle, I don't know if you all know that I'm an avid motorcycle rider. Well, I loved it so well, I decided I had this notion. I am going to learn, and I'm going to teach people how to ride, and I'm going to do tours and get them comfortable by taking them around the country. So I go out, and I get my instructor's license, and I'm out at the college, and the first thing they taught us to teach people when you're riding is look where you want to go, not where you are. Because the tendency is to look down at that tire. That's not where you're going. To look over there, if you're riding a motorcycle and you're going this way and you look over there, the natural tendency is for the bike to pull that direction. So that's why this walking around with this chicken perspective, picking at stuff on the ground, the guilt, the shame, that low vibration, you can't help but be down there if you are picking in this. You have to look up in order to go up. You must be congruent, looking ahead. I know even everybody in here knows how to drive. You don't look at the front end of your car. You look out there. You have to look to the horizon. That's where you're going. I don't care how good and how big God's vision is for you. If you have this Louis Vuitton stuff with old clothes and old beliefs and old fears and old resentments and old anger and all that cancerous stuff, if you are dragging it, you will get up to the counter of your highest success and you won't make the weight. I'm sorry, you can't take that. And some of us are so committed to this stuff that we've drugged from place to place, relationship to relationship. You know what? We cancel our flight reservation just so we can stay down here with the story and the stuff. I know that's a nasty thought, isn't it? That you would cancel a trip to your greater destiny because you stuck with your stuff. And half the time, it's not even your stuff. It's stuff you inherited from your mother, from your past relationship, what somebody told you about yourself. You stuck with your stuff. You can't get where you're going. And you surrender and say, well, I guess it wasn't meant for me. It was meant for you. It's just you were not willing to rise above it. As I say, we must leave the night light on so we can see out of the darkness of our anger, our resentment, our disappointment, our fear, and all of that. We must be willing to embrace the big idea of forgiveness, for that's where our blessing is. We must be willing to remember that we are made in the image and likeness of God, and God was betrayed. It was painful. Why do we think we are exempt? We're not exempt. If you look into the pain, you're going to grow. If you try to run from the pain, it's going to be wherever you get, it's going to be there. My daughter was little, and this just popped into my head, talking about running from the pain and the shadowy side of life. She must have been about 5. And I lived in LA at the time, and I had told her to stay in the yard. And I looked up, and she was just flying down the sidewalk. And she was running as if her life depended on it. And when I caught up with her, I said, I asked you to stay in the yard. And this is what she said. Mommy, my shadow was chasing me. That's funny. Aha! Is your shadow chasing you? Are you trying to outrun your shadow? Or are you going to be courageous and brave and fly with eagles and rise above it and realize it's just that, a shadow? And when she said that, Mommy, my shadow is chasing me, it was like she discovered her shadow, and like many of us, in our little logical minds, we think we can outrun the pain. We can outrun the disappointment. We can outrun the regret. We can outrun the fear. No, you can't. What you can do, you got 2 choices. You can feel the wall and flip on the light switch and realize, oh, it was just a shadow. It's an illusion. Or you can rise above it and look down upon it and say, oh, it was just a shadow. The truth is, don't make it a place where you set up camp. Move in. You know, you've heard this, that when God closes one door, he opens another. That's true for every one of us. It's true for all of humankind. When one door closes, if you don't get this job or you don't get this mate, God will open another opportunity over here. The challenge is most of us get stuck in the hallway. We are in the hallway bemoaning our situation rather than seeing the other door, seeing the window out. We are in the hallway, and as they say, the hallways are no place nice, especially if it's a dark hallway of your deepest fear. A friend of mine said this week to someone that in those moments when you feel lonely, those moments some people call the dark night of the soul, that's when God wants to have time with you alone. God's not going to talk to you if you are surrounded by all your friends and all of this chaos. But in those quiet moments when you don't know what to do or where to go, that's when God gets an opportunity to talk to you. I'm going to close with this. What God knows is you are a field of infinite possibility. You do not know what you are or have until you meet the challenge, or better still, challenge yourself to great task. Pain has a divine duty, and that duty is to break out the glory of your soul. If you look at any painful situation you've ever had, if you can stay and embrace that pain long enough, you will know there's a divine intention there. And that's where your soul opens up and you truly can fly. Don't get locked in the hallway. I will be Miss Bertha's baby girl. Namaste. This is that point in the service where my loving angels show up and Mackenzie sings us into this place that feels so warm and loving. And I know that getting out of that painful place is a challenge, but it is such a gift. I invite you, if you are so comfortable, to close your eyes and be with yourself as Mackenzie sings us into the silence.
Me walk to the banks of the river of love, where the current runs deep, baptized in the one, where there's no separation, and the light is always seen. Honor in all our differences, and love will set us free. Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. I said, oh, you rock my soul. I said, oh, you rock my soul.
And it is in this rocking that I experience the presence of the divine. For I know that God's vision for each life is magnificent. I know that this same God that controls the universe, this divine intelligence, this omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent source and force, has made a way out of no way. And what I know more than anything is the DNA that flows through the essence of God, flows through each one of us. I know that the I am that is Judy-Ann is the essential spiritual self is pure. And if I really want to take flight, I must be willing to take only that I need. And it is the faith, the trust, the essence, and the belief in a God that is ever supportive. And I know that it's always done unto me as I believe. That the Father withholdeth nothing from me, so I don't need to besiege God and plead and beg, for the kingdom of God is always at hand. So I extend my arms, and it is from this place that I can speak my word, declare it, and know it to be the absolute truth. That each one of us is made in the image and likeness of God. That each one of us has the capacity to soar with eagles. All we have to do is just look up, embrace the twins of pain and pleasure, and know that pain is just a teacher. It sends us a message that we can decode about our possibility and our potentiality. For like children coming through the birth canal, it's stressful and it's painful for the baby, more so than for the mother. And to give birth to our higher selves, we stay in the flow. We stay in the water of life. We forgive and shed all unexamined thoughts and ideas that no longer serve us. The resentment and the shame and the blame, we forgive ourselves so that we can be forgiven, so that we can attract unto us that which we say we desire. And the only barrier that stands between the success of the I am is the unexamined I am right here. And as we examine that I am, we realize that we are a self-contained ball of richness waiting to explode beyond anything that we could have ever imagined. We are the miracle that we have been waiting for. And I am so grateful to know that God is an orderly God, that each one of us lives in an orderly universe, and that God's goodness and mercy follows us all the days of our life. And I'm so grateful to know that I can soar as high as possible if only I believe. I release anything unlike the pure love and essence of God. For I am not willing to carry any unwanted baggage that does not serve my higher evolution. I release all of that unto the law that only says, yes, you are magnificent. Yes, you are powerful. Yes, you are loved. Yes, you are capable and able. And yes, you are a pure, perfect expression of God. There is nothing missing from any one of us. I release it. I know it is so. And I invite you to affirm this for yourself by saying, and so it is. Amen. Ashe.
And so it's true that love will be a reflection of you and me. Aren't we lovely? Made from a love.
Come on, y'all, clap your hands.
Yeah.
Let's get the energy flowing.
Yeah.
Let's let go of all those bad things. Everybody now.
Aren't we lovely? Aren't we beautiful? Angels from heaven, stars in the universe. And so it's true that love would be a reflection of you and me. Aren't we lovely? Made from love.
Aren't we lovely?
Aren't we lovely?
Aren't we
So beautiful.
Angels from heaven.
Angels from heaven.
Stars in the
universe.
And so it's true.
It's true.
That love
It's true.
will be
True.
reflection
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Aren't we lovely? Made from love.
Aren't we lovely?
Aren't we lovely? Made from the love. Oh, yeah. Made from love. Yeah.
In case I need to tell you one more time, this wonderful trio is soul to soul. These young folks, she loves it when I say that. They grew up in this faith and they have been here. In your program, there's a card that looks like this, and it's a connection card. We ask you fill it out. If you are a first-time visitor, you may be seated, I'm sorry. If you are a first-time visitor, we have a visitor's table out here with information that tells you who we are and what we believe. On the back of the seat in front of you, there is an ATM card if you do not have cash. This card, if you've been here before, we don't need all of the information. We just need your name, basically your name, if we have all the other information. On the back side, if you have a special request, please let us know. This will go to our ministry of prayer, and we will include you in our prayer for the next 7 days. Is there anyone here that has not been here before? Thank you, and welcome. We know who you are. We know you are the divine expression of the one living God. We raise you and we praise you, and thank you for being our guests. And we invite you to come back, spend time with the alchemy of love. For this is where the ordinary is transformed into the extraordinary, and you are extraordinary. Miss Rosalie, I'm so glad to see you here also. So, as I call this handsome man forward, our usher, he comes bearing a basket. If you have prepared your gift, please put your hand over your heart. And he's walking swiftly toward the front. And repeat after me. I give with an attitude of gratitude, knowing that that which I give goes out into the world and returns to me 100-fold. And so it is.
Come on, y'all. Ooh, yeah. Live together.
give now, free to share now, giving thanks now, to be real, receiving love now. I think I feel it
So
now.
fulfilled now.
So fulfilled
Giving
now.
love now.
To be real.
Ooh, glory within you. 'Cause your gift is my gift is knowing our gifts as one. Live to give now.
I think I feel it
Free to
now.
share now.
I wanna share it
Give
now.
thanks now.
Oh, oh,
To be real. Receiving love now. So fulfilled now.
so fulfilled now.
Love now.
Oh, oh,
To be real. Oh, glory within you. 'Cause your gift is my gift and knowing our gifts are one.
This is going to be really good as I don't know where the notes are. So, they're where? Okay, our announcements. I do know this. On Sunday, we have meditation at 9:15, and our service starts at 10 a.m. It is a full service. If you have not been, I invite you to attend. Reverend Doug is fabulous. The next one is a buck, a bowl, and a blessing. Every Wednesday, there's a different service. The first Wednesday of the month is the 12th dimension. The second Wednesday is Taizé. The third Wednesday, I am doing Bible wisdom. It will be strictly the Bible and how it relates to new thought. The fourth Wednesday is exploring the mysticism with Colleen Tanaka. Oh, we offer a variety of classes. If you have not taken any classes here, I invite you to do so. It is a fabulous opportunity to unravel and demystify some of the things that you're carrying around. And it's in a very safe and loving environment. There is a basic class called Beyond Limits. It helps you to explore who you are. On Tuesdays, I do Adventures in Faith that start at 11 a.m. and it's 11 to 12:30. And this is a walk-in session, great group of people, and we discuss what comes up out of the Science of Mind magazine. For all members, on the 3rd of March, we have our annual membership meeting. It is in your program. Please come if you want to know what is happening and what we gleaned from our recent trip to Canada. It was amazing being there with people from all over the world. Barbara Legier was there from the Ukraine. John Scott was there from Jamaica. And it was absolutely fabulous. Thank you for being here. Come back, bring your friends. I'm going to be here. And I love it when I look up and I see you here. Thank you. And now I'm going to leave it to these fine folks up here called Soul to Soul.
Thank you, Reverend Judy. Now, I believe there's only one answer, and I'm about to tell you what it is. Love.
love will keep us together. Giving love lasts forever. And together we'll sing to this song. Together as one. Don't mess around. The spirit's so strong. Now stop. 'Cause I
us together. Don't be afraid to stand up. I like your energy. You and me are God is one now. Ain't gonna let it go now. Hands together, we'll sing this song together as one. Don't mess around, the spirit's so strong. Gotta stop, 'cause I really love you. Stop, I'll be thinking of you. Look in my heart and let love keep us together forever. Everybody, life's so beautiful. Feel the presence of God. Your perfection is the truth. Who can be loving you more? I will, I will, I will, I will be there to share forever. Love will keep us together. Said it before and I'll say it again. Let's pretend my God can see all your God within. So stop, 'cause I really love you. Stop, I'll be thinking of you. Look in my heart and find love. Keep us together forever. I will, I will, I will, I will, I will, I will. Everybody get up and dance. I can't stand it. Everybody get up and dance. Stop, I'll be thinking of you. Look in my heart and my love. Keep us together forever. I will, I will, I will, I will, I will, I will. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. Thank you so much.
That was fun.
I just love them, don't you? Yeah. They are amazing. I wonder what some people mean when they say kids have gone wayward. This is an example of what our youth will do if we give them a chance. I love them.
We love you.
Amazing. I know.
Stop that crying.
Okay, no more tears. Please join me in the center aisle. Take the hand of someone. Hello. How are you?
Reverend Judy.
No.
Can I say one quick thing?
Yes.
Somebody who doesn't get the recognition. Joe.
Yes.
Our sound man, give him a round of applause.
Back their head.
He's in his glass box.
I will say this. Thank you for saying that. I applaud.